I wanted to share Jackson's story. So I shared Jackson's story maybe a year ago, and it's up on my blog, ElaineStein.com. So if you want to check that out, I posted it. It has a video and kind of his story, and I'm kind of where I was last year at this point. But I figured I have a lot of new Facebook friends, and I feel like the most powerful thing we can do is share our story. Hey, Kayla, thank you. And so I learn from other people, and I love my community. So I would love to share Jackson's story, and I'll do my best to pop in and see the comments, but if I don't catch your comment, I will go back after and reply. All right, so Jackson is, and if you have not seen the movie Vaxxed, I highly suggest it. Go to Vaxxed.com. You can stream it from your computer. I believe it's on Netflix if you order the DVD. But you should see it. I just believe parents deserve to hear all information. And I was not fully informed when my kids were at the age of vaccinating, and knowing what I know now in 6 years of research, boy, do I wish I had researched. So this is my story for you guys. Take what you want from it, learn what you can. I'm always open to emails, messages. I personally reply to everything. So Jackson is currently 8 years old. He has autism, and I'm going to tell you why I did quotation marks. But I feel like parents know their kids, right? We know our babies. We know every freckle. We know when they don't feel good. We know when they smile. You know, we know our kids. So I think parents are the best advocates for their kids. So Sophia is 10, Jackson is 8. So I had Sophie before Jackson, and her development was, typical. So I was a mom who followed the rules, who didn't question vaccines. I was researching car seats and cribs and diapers and all the other things, but why would I research vaccines? Because that is something that the pediatricians are there for. They're the experts. Why in the world would I question that? So that was one thing I did not question. So Sophia, during my pregnancy, a healthy pregnancy, I was working out. She was born. I did have an epidural and Pitocin with her, followed the rules. Then she turned out fine. I mean, she's healthy, she's typical, she's succeeding, she loves gymnastics, she's an awesome 10-year-old girl. She met all her milestones. She was vaccinated with the Hep B at birth. She was vaccinated at 2 months, 6 months. She was on the CDC schedule. She is fully vaccinated except for a Hep B booster. So I guess technically she's not fully vaccinated. She is missing a Hep B booster. And there is no way I will ever let that Hep B booster get into her body, because if you have not, first of all, if you haven't researched what's in a vaccine, like just the ingredients alone, that's the place to start. I'm not going to go into vaccines so much, but I want to just share Jackson's story. So Sophie developed typically. She crawled, she walked, she spoke, she pointed, she laughed, she played peekaboo. She was an amazing, amazing baby. And then I got pregnant with Jackson. They're 22 months apart, so a little under 2 years. Got pregnant with Jackson, and I think it was my OB, suggested a flu shot. So I didn't get the flu shot with Sophia. I did with Jackson. So when I was pregnant, I got a flu shot. Because of course, I don't want the flu. I want to listen to my doctor. I want to be healthy for myself and my baby. And so just so you know, I'm not going to go on a rant here about the flu shot and pregnant women, but there is zero research about injecting aluminum, mercury, polysorbate 80, aborted fetals. There's no research at all about injecting a pregnant woman with a vaccine. So no research. So if your doctor says it's there, ask to see it, because it's not there. So it started with a flu shot with Jackson. I think that's where his toxicity started. Then same thing. Sophia typically developed. So I said, okay, sure, we're going to vaccinate according to schedule. So Jackson got the Hep B at birth. He got the vitamin K at birth. I was that great mom, always on schedule, coming into the pediatrician for the well baby visits. And so I mean, I feel like up until, let me think, at the 15-month mark where we went, and actually I have, so this is Jackson's health binder. Like it's 1.5 inches thick. This is where, I mean, his health binder. This is all the doctors we've been to. I'll go into what we've tried with him. We've done a ton of different interventions. So I have his immunization card. So here's Jackson's, here's Sophia's. I'm a good mom, right? I have it. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer, I'm an ex-vaxxer. I think that's how I want to call myself, because I vaccinated. I fully followed the system, and the system failed me. And hundreds and thousands and tons of other families out there. Okay, so Jackson's immunization card. So let me just tell you what he got at his 15-month vaccines, because he was developing typically. He was playing peekaboo. He was pointing. He did not ever speak. He didn't ever speak. But you know, I don't know. So he didn't ever speak, but he was interactive and engaging. So at his 15-month well baby visit, it was September 27th, 2010. I'm reading it from the binder. I have it right here. He got the DTaP, his third Hep B, the flu shot, and the pneumococcal. So, I mean, 4 injections of, I don't even know how many different vaccines. It's never been tested. Our kids are getting all these neurotoxins, all these chemicals, all these carcinogens. It's never been tested on the CDC schedule has never been tested cumulatively. Yes, we've looked at mercury, and thank goodness most of the thimerosal is out of those of typical vaccines, but it has never been tested. So that day, I haven't even calculated all the aluminum he got, all the polysorbate 80, there's glyphosate now in vaccines. So step 1, if you're like, whoa, what's she talking about? Is go to the CDC website, or just Google, in your Google bar, Google vaccine ingredients. And it comes up. And these are ingredients that we've never researched. We don't know. They're all adjuvants and to stabilize vaccines, but we don't know. So, so at his 15-month well baby visit, he got all these vaccines, and I don't know. It wasn't some parents say, oh yes, after the MMR, boom, he ran a high fever and started screaming and diarrhea, and so I didn't notice anything like that. I fully believe that his body was in toxic overload. Not only that, but after a year, I stopped breastfeeding Jackson, so I made it a year with him. And then, little did I know, I didn't know what I know now. I was giving him the Costco formula, so that is like GMO Central, glyphosate sprayed, nasty, nasty stuff. Thank goodness it wasn't for too long, but then I gave him like organic whole milk, which is just as toxic. And so by 18 months, by soon after that, 16 months, we were like, oh my goodness, he's not responding to his name. We thought he had hearing problems because, we would say, Jackson, peekaboo, let's play. He was just so happy just to sit there by himself. Like he had like a zero expression. He was fine just sitting there by himself. He didn't really have that many self-soothing repetitious behaviors, like some kids will like spin the car wheels or line things up. He kind of started to rock and flap, but he was happy just being by himself. So let's see, 16 months, red flags went off. 18 months, we went to the regional center, and he was diagnosed with autism. So immediately we started with 40 hours of ABA therapy. I still, by then, didn't know, I hadn't connected the dots about vaccines, about food, about household cleaning products, about toxic overload. So I was hopeful, Misha and I were hopeful. We said, okay, yes, let's, early intervention is best. We're going to start therapy, and he's going to start to respond and get better. And then, then by 2, so he was 2 years old, then I had started, connecting to this community. I'd started reading books. I did read Jenny McCarthy's book. I think she actually got the ball rolling with the diet. So immediately we went gluten-free and dairy-free. And still no aha moments. Like I talk to parents that say, oh yeah, we pulled the dairy out and my gosh, the words just began to flow out. So nothing major happened with the diet. So we still keep him gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. I cook a lot of his foods. He has branched out with some other foods, but still we keep his diet pretty clean. Where am I going with this? So 2 years, we tried diet. We're still doing the ABA. And then I just got more immersed in this community, this amazing, like really aware community. So we went to see what's called a DAN doctor. So DAN doctors the acronym is Defeat Autism Now. We saw a couple of those DAN doctors. We started some protocols. We started supplementing. We started just cleaning up our household. So no more toxic cleaning supplies. Our gardeners used to use glyphosate in our yard. I had no idea. So no more of that. So we cleaned that up very quickly. We kept the gluten-free, dairy-free diet going. We even went to paleo. Once Jackson turned 3, he went to school. We found a pretty good program for him. But I typed all of our interventions out, so I'll just read them to you. So we started with ABA therapy. He got speech therapy, the DAN doctor. After a year with no progress with our first DAN doctor, we went to a naturopath, and we did all new lab work. So all of our tests, we have hair analysis, metal tests, urine tests, stool tests, tests from France, tests to, if you can imagine any test, we have it in here. And this is all out of pocket. So, actually, funny thing, we went to our pediatrician after and said, what about this? Look at our tests, look at this, look at that. And we're connecting the dots, and the pediatrician is just like, nope, like, da-da-da-da-da. And now, there's no pediatrician in the area that will see us because in California, I hope you all know that parents' choice has been taken away, and for kids to go to public or private school, you need to be fully vaccinated according to the CDC schedule. So just so you know, like, I don't know, our medical system is failing our family, and I see so many other kids like suffering from asthma, ADHD, even heart problems, type 1 diabetes, like all these health ailments are happening, and I don't know. So we don't see a pediatrician. We see a chiropractor, an amazing chiropractor. And honestly, we don't really need much medical intervention because we're a pretty healthy family. Okay, so DAN doctor, we did a 24-hour EEG to rule out seizures. So Jackson does not have seizures. We did all the diet. We rented a hyperbaric oxygen chamber for a month. We did the soft chamber. We did about 60 dives together. Didn't see much. We did antifungals, antiviral, methyl B12 shots. We treated for parasites. We continued to do essential oils. Jackson sleeps on a biomat, which is like amethyst crystals for detox. We did about 8 months of homeopathy with a local homeopath. And right now we're actually not doing much medically other than some basic supplements and diet. But I'm going to be looking into homeopathy again. We worked with a homotoxicologist in New York. We did an osteopath, so lots of head manipulations. We did craniosacral. We did HANDLE, which is an acronym for holistic approach to neuro. I forget the acronym, but it was a lot of fine motor and gross motor and movement to incorporate everything. We did a sunrise playroom for 2 years, so I stopped working and we converted one of our bedrooms into a playroom. I recruited volunteers. It was amazing. It was a magical program. Loved it. And then after 2 years, we decided to go the school route again, but still, I learned so much from Sunrise. Love it.